Hi, it's fall in the Great Smoky Mountains, which means it's fairly cool, it's a sunny day, beautiful time for a hike. Now today we're going to do something that I think most people do this if they are visiting the Great Smoky Mountain National Park for the first time. And that is that they just get into the park, they go to the Sugarlands Visitor Center to see what's what, and this hike is starts right behind the actual visitor center. And then it just goes a short distance, and then there's a nature trail involved, and it's really interesting. Today we're going to see a falls. We're going to see Cataract Falls, and then we'll take a little detour onto a nature trail, and the whole thing is less than 2 miles, and it's pretty level, so it's easy to do. Certainly from like my point of view, someone that's over 70, it's a nice easy hike. Or if you had kids and you don't want to do some long hike and a lot of climbing where they're going to get tired and fussy, this is perfect. It's a great way to start your adventure in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. The first thing you'll see on the path is that you can actually walk from Gatlinburg to here and back. As you hike both to Cataract Falls and the nature trail, you'll see many small signs identifying the various trees in the area. For a short hike, and being close to the visitor center, there are many beautiful and interesting things to see along the way. The path to Cataract Falls is mostly level and pretty smooth, although there are some rocks and tree roots here and there, so as always, be careful and pay attention to the path. You may have noticed that I brought my trusty LL Bean hiking staff today. Got on my little badges from the places I've been here in the Great Smokies. And I'm a big proponent of having some kind of support when you're on the walking trail, whether it's a single long staff like this, or whether it's those dual poles or like ski poles that people use, or even a cane, a walking stick, anything. It's just a good idea, especially again from my POV, somebody over 70. This is a good path, and yet there's roots and some rocks, and it's just not a bad thing to have. You don't want to fall and ruin a perfectly good hike. So I always recommend that you bring along some kind of hiking stick or staff. It doesn't take long before we reach the falls. If you wanted to do a longer hike, you could cross the creek and hit the Cove Mountain Trail. that leads to Cove Mountain and even beyond to Laurel Falls. Although, as of this video, Laurel Falls is still closed until sometime in 2026. So we'll just make this a quick trip today and retrace our steps back to the Fighting Creek Nature Trail part of our excursion. As you can see, people have vandalized the sign back behind me there, but I'm pretty sure there was an arrow that was pointing me this way. It is a trail, and so I'm going to take it. I'm pretty sure this is the nature trail. So let's see what we see in the way of nature, shall we? One thing about the first part of the nature trail is it's very close to the road, and you hear a lot of car noise, but it doesn't really take away from the beauty of the area. The trail is a bit of a climb. I'd guess maybe 100 feet or so increase in elevation, but it's a long, slow climb, so not strenuous. Time for a break. Got my trail mix. Thank you, planters. And probably not the best place maybe to pull out trail mix when there's bears around, I guess, but I haven't seen any, so been here 2 years and I've only seen one bear and its cubs, and that was right at the top of Anakeesta of all places, so they're right next to the road there. But well, it'd be fun to see a bear in its natural habitat, but on the other hand, probably better if I don't. After a little more hiking, we come to the John Ownby Historic Wooden Cabin. It was built in 1860 and is the last surviving structure from the pre-park Forks of the River community. It was added to the National Registry of Historic Places in 1976, and it marks approximately the halfway point of the Fighting Creek Nature Trail hike. Back on the trail, we can really see the fall colors and falling leaves. I love this stump. Looks like a face. A crazy accident of nature or done by humans, do you think? Either way, it's a happy way to end our hike today. Some final thoughts after the hike today. I say this on every video: wear good footwear. I prefer hiking boots, but solid footwear, because honestly, especially the nature trail part of this hike was pretty seriously, crazy. I mean, there were roots and rocks and steps formed by the roots, and it's a lot. You're going to hurt yourself if you don't wear good shoes. Never wear, sandals or flip-flops. All right, staff, I mentioned that earlier. I like having one, a staff or a cane or something. It just gives me a little more stability. I think it's a good safety feature as well. Now, the hike itself. The hike, you can do the hike just from the Sugarlands Visitor Center to Cataract Falls, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful hike. It's an easy hike. It's pretty much flat all the way. Great. I recommend it if you don't have a lot of time or you've never been anywhere in the park before. That's a good one. However, I thought the nature trail was really interesting, and I'm glad I did the nature trail hike, because it was just beautiful. It's really beautiful. This is late fall, so I imagine in earlier fall, certainly in the spring and summer, it would be just incredible. But a really interesting hike, and when you get to that log cabin, the log cabin is really interesting, and it's the halfway point, so you can gauge where you are. So just very, very pretty, and I'm glad I did that part of the hike. All in all today, it only took me about 2 hours, and I really take my time. I'm shooting a video, so I put the camera down and I do stuff and that. But good hike today, and I highly recommend this hike to Cataract Falls and the nature trail as well. So if you're going to try it, I recommend it, and be careful as usual, but enjoy it. Have a good time out there, and that's Dave's POV.